Hi, everybody. Kimberly and Whitney with HypnoPro Accelerator coming to
Hi,
you
everybody.
this week. Hello. How are you, Whitney?
Fabulous, Kimberly. You look fabulous. I love doing
Oh,
this show with you. You are awesome.
that's so sweet. Ditto, girl. Ditto. You're looking good. I'm excited to be here. So, we are going to talk this week about pricing. We kind of talked about it a little bit last week, but what we really want to talk about is the idea that when we look at pricing, we want to take that feeling that we talked about of getting confident and valuing ourselves last week. We want to not tangibly undervalue our services and what we do. So that's what we're going to talk about this week.
Love it. Love it.
Welcome to HypnoPro Accelerator, the podcast set to transform your hypnosis business. I'm Kimberly Lynn, and alongside my partner, Whitney Christina, we're your co-pilots in the fast lane to success for professional hypnotists. Join us as we explore the art of building a thriving hypnosis practice. We'll discuss captivating offers, effective client communication, and share our own insights from the profession. No gimmicks, just practical strategies from two experts who understand the world of professional hypnosis inside and out. So grab your coffee or something stronger, we won't judge, and settle in and get ready to accelerate your hypnosis business like never before. It's time to take your practice to new heights. Let's make it happen. I think this is a really important topic because when you're a brand new hypnotist or you're a hypnotist that's really trying to grow their business, focus on their business and do and learn all the things that we need to do to grow our businesses, we can easily undervalue our time because number one, we forget that we don't just do client care. As solopreneurs, a lot of the times, we have many other things that we do. And so if we just look at the time that we're exchanging with clients, we do client care, we can think that that's all the work that we're doing and really not see all the other stuff that we're doing as work. And it really is necessary for what we do. So, um, Whitney, what are your thoughts on that?
So, you know, we were talking about this last week. We brought up imposter syndrome and thinking, so tying this in with your worth, do you really believe or know or understand what your worth is? We talked about last week that you have invested in your education, you have invested in your time, and it's all of your education, it's all of your time, it is all of the things that you have done before you were in this profession. All of it adds value to who you are and what you do. And so you really need to just take into consideration all of that. And I think one good measuring stick is find out what the other people in your area are doing. Find out what they're charging, and you will be surprised. And you will sit back and go, wait a minute, I have this many more hours in training. I have this certification. I've done this and this and this. At least you'll know you're in the ballpark of what they're worth. So have a good measuring stick.
Yeah, I agree. That is it. When we're talking about how to go about initially begin pricing our services, I agree with you. The number one thing we got to do is value our worth and then look at what that going rate is and make sure that we're charging what the going rate is, because if you've invested in yourself and you have all that experience, you are worth at least what the average of what the local hypnosis services are going for. You probably are worth more, though, if you've invested in any kind of advanced training and you're using all of what you've used before. So, number one, look at what the going rates are, especially those averages. What's the top? What's the bottom? Price yourself accordingly. And if you need help with that, reach out to friends and family. Find out what other people who've taken your training are charging, even if they're in other markets, because this is all good information to begin to figure out what your, let's call it your bottom level, or your, it's actually not your bottom level. It's more like
Baseline. Like,
your baseline. Like, this is what I charge per session. That's not what you actually ever advertise, but I like to use it as a building block to then go into, which I think we're going to cover in the next session, in the next podcast, in the next episode, how to go about structuring your actual service offerings as a professional hypnotist. But let's talk about all the stuff that
But
you
before
need.
we do that, I just wanted
Yeah.
to tag off with something you said.
Mhm.
We were talking about getting averages in the area and at least charge the average. And I would like to say you do want to charge more. I think that if you are the bargain hypnotist, you
Yeah.
will get the kind of clientele that's maybe one and done, and maybe that's going to be good for you. It's not a it's a business plan, maybe not your long term business plan, but if you charge more than the average,
Yeah.
maybe halfway between the average and the highest price,
And
the
this is just to
client
get
will see
started.
value.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah. I
clients
agree
will
with
see
you.
the value. Yeah.
Yeah. If you price yourself at the low end of whatever market you're in, the problem is volume is what you need, and volume is exhausting. And
Mhm.
most people can't, if they're really invested in helping their clients truly make lasting changes, you can't deal in volume because what you're doing, you don't even realize it. But if you are invested in helping your client not just make a change today, but you're invested in their long-term lasting change, you are not doing um, regular old what people think of is what a lot of hypnotists do as just regular old hypnosis. You're actually doing life transformation, and that is already personalized and bespoke work. And as soon as you jump into doing personalized bespoke transformation for people, you should automatically be at the top of what
That
is the going rate. And you're not doing volume, and you can't do volume, so you can't charge for volume because you're going to take way you're gonna invest time and energy in your clients, and you're not just doing a formula. So, um,
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
sorry,
Good point.
I have this huge. Cut this out. Oh my god. Okay. Oh my god. Okay. I'm gonna talk about. You know what? I'm gonna talk about this like discounts. Okay. So Whitney, before I get into a couple other points, I want to hit on the idea of discounts, deals, sales, and things like that, because I think that they're really important. That as business owners, we should always be trying to offer incentives to people. But I think the problem comes that sometimes we truly don't value the services that we give, and sometimes we give a lot away for free. And so I wonder what your thoughts, your feelings are on, and what kinds of discounts, promotions, sales that do you have any ideas about like guiding, philosophies for offering those kinds of things?
Well, I have two thoughts I'm on this way and that way, because the first thing that comes to mind is when somebody asks for a discount, I think, Kimberly, why would I discount you?
Yeah.
You want the full value, you want the full service. That's what I'm going to give to you. I would never discount you.
Mm,
So that is one thing that kind of guides me. Um, I do offer, like, if they buy a big package up front and they pay that day, I may give them some discount. Um, I also, like, if they pay cash, they may get a certain percentage discount. Um, but really, they're coming to you for the full services. And as we were
yeah.
talking about before, you are investing and really delving into life changing, transformative work.
Yeah.
And you can't do that on a discount. And the other thing I've been asked
Yeah.
for is, do I have a sliding scale? And the other thing that I have noticed is that if I do a discount or a sliding scale, if it is too discounted, they don't seem to do the work. So
Uh-huh.
when they pay that full amount, they're invested in doing the work. It
Yeah.
it works. It doesn't work 100% of the time if they don't do the work. I think I
Yeah.
said that backwards, but
Yeah.
you discount them and then they don't care as much, and you've worked just as hard as you're going to for a full paying client.
Yeah.
and you've given them a discount and they're not happy and you're
Yeah.
not happy.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mhm.
have two minds with discounts. There are places and times. For instance, I may do discount group classes,
Yeah.
group hypnosis. I might do that, tend to more. But I'd love to hear your thoughts and opinions because this
Yeah.
is all about different ideas and seeing what works.
I agree with you. Because here's the point of asking this question. When we offer a discount, I think we need to make sure that we have already calculated the cost of all of the things that we're doing in our business, not just this one client. So when we're talking about pricing and then creating a structure where we have discounts or promotions or sales within it, we need to know that the price point that we have set is we are able to discount anything. So if we
Mhm.
set our rate at the very bottom of what we need to make, we can't offer discounts because we won't make enough money to live and survive and our business won't thrive. You have to count in all the time that you're working, not just with clients. You have to count in all the
Mhm.
admin stuff. You have to count in all the fees, all the services that you have to pay for, all the credit card processing fees. Um into your pricing so that when
Mhm.
you know you've set your bottom rate, it's still fair to you. It's fair to your client and it's fair to you. And that can be hard. And so it's worth saying that you need to remember that you have way more than just this hour and a half every week or 2 hours every week with this client. That client required probably 6 to 8 hours of additional work outside of what you're doing and fees outside of what you're doing. And so that needs to be calculated in. You need to ask yourself, what do I need to make per week or per month so that I can see my full load of clients and still make money. And so we need to count in all those different things. And then it's fine to offer a discount. Um, I did hear a coach tell me once too, you should never count your one on one time. You should never discount your one on one time. Did I say that correctly? So if you want to give a discount or you want to add value, sometimes it's better to add value to something than to give a discount. So maybe you don't give a discount, but if you sign up today, you get a bonus of something that doesn't cost you anything extra. So there's other different ways to run those sales or those promotional things where you are still making sure that you are able to make ends meet and offer additional value to your clients. And the last thing I want to agree with you is that if you give things away for free and you give yourself away for free, people tend to not value it. And more often than not,
Yep.
there are clients who really value you no matter what. And this is another reason why if you charge what is fair to you as a business owner and a human being, then you are going to be able to, if you see someone who can really value your work and just can't afford it, you can give it away for free. And I would rather do that than offer discount after discount after discount um, over and over and over again. So it's not that I say don't offer discounts, but just make sure you're factoring in all the stuff that you do so that you're treating yourself fairly and you're actually going to create a business that can thrive instead of starve itself to death.
I totally agree with you. And brings to mind know your numbers, right? And this could be another podcast that we have is know your numbers. So you have rent for your office, or maybe you have the space in your house. You have to take into account that. You have to take into account your electricity, your internet. When you go out to an event, how much does it cost you to be a member of that? I think you need to know all of your numbers so that you know how much it costs to acquire a new client.
Yeah.
So what you said before was brilliant. So um, you have to make that money back because you're spending it, and you're not only spending it in dollars, but you're spending it in sweat equity, right? So
Yeah.
you may be out networking 4 times a week because you're in a new um, practice and you're trying to get out there. And for me, if I am not with a client, I am networking, I'm doing something to build my business. So all of that is time,
Yeah.
and I need to know what that is. The other thing that you said that I really like is that for people that need a sliding scale, maybe need to do a discount or something like that. And I'm taking the word discount out, but um, you said, make sure that you're making enough so that you can afford to do that. And a friend of mine, a very smart woman, she offers scholarships. And so she factors into her numbers. Okay, so I'm going to give away, X, like she works this session. So I will give away 5 sessions and that costs this much, this, and this. And so
Yeah.
she factors in how much she needs to make to cover that cost. And
Nice.
then sometimes she works with companies or people that sit or like different organizations and says, okay, um, I will allow you to give the scholarship. So for instance, like there's a local community that is just trying to make everybody's lives better and they're recovering out from addictions. So like I would maybe offer to them, here, I will give one scholarship out like every quarter to
Yep.
your people and then they value it. And also it's also a smart business strategy because now you're investing in them and they're investing in you. So you look at all of those things when you're doing, especially if you're going to discount, it needs to be worth your time and your effort. And by making that connection with another entity and having it be able to determine the most deserving, the most needing. Now you
Yeah.
have advocates for you and your services.
Yeah. Yep. I love it. I love it. Totally. That's such a great idea offering a scholarship. It also adds a price value to it. It's a scholarship.
Yes.
Someone paid for that. It's not
Yep.
free. And
Yes.
so I think that is a great reframe of helping people find your services more accessible and more affordable to them and where they're at. Because yeah, scholarship puts value on it. Love that. So did you have a story to share with us today, kind of on this
I
topic of
I
pricing?
do. I do. I recently was talking with a hypnotist that has been in the field for a really long time, like over 20 years. And this person also is has a doctorate in clinical psychology. And when this person was um, practicing hypnosis 5 years ago, they were at a certain rate, let's say like around 250. And they were thinking of re-entering the market at 250. Um, and we had a conversation talking about, well, what are you worth? What is your 20 years of experience worth? What is your doctorate in clinical hypnosis worth? All of that is investment. And you've been able to get people to transform, have incredible change, and they're working with chronic illness. So they're changing people's lives. And, I have to say saving lives, really, because if you can change the chronic illness thought process around, you're saving lives. And the market right now us is just different. And so by the end of our conversation, every time we would talk about something else and something else and something else, they're ending up starting out now, re-entering the field at 450 a session.
Nice.
And with all of that, just think about all the things that you know and that you do and all of the investment that you have. I said it before, I can't say it enough. You have invested in you and trained, and you're a professional. There aren't other people that can do what you do.
Yeah.
So know your worth and know your value and just accept it. And if it takes a mirror and you go out and look at other people and you go, hey, I know that person. I know what they trained like. I know what their services are and they're charging this. I'm definitely undervaluing myself. My price now needs to be, I don't know, 10% higher than that,
Yeah.
15% higher.
Yeah.
Yep, that's my story.
I love that. I love it. I have so many thoughts, but I'm going to save for the next episode because we're going to talk about in the next episode actually creating service offerings. And I had a bunch of thoughts about that, but I love that story. And I think that's all I want to say. I think there was another thought in my brain, but I think I'm just going to save it for the next episode. So, charge what you're worth. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't get to 450 overnight, but also don't undervalue yourself. Set that price point that's fair to you, that will help you create a thriving business no matter how much education, the technical experience you have, whether you just started or you've been doing it for years, make sure that you treat yourself fairly and that you count the cost of all the stuff that you do outside of direct client care because it's all a part of the business. And
Know your numbers. Definitely
know
know
your
your
numbers.
numbers, what it
Yeah.
costs.
Yep. Awesome. Thanks so much, Whitney. I'll see you in the next episode.
All right. Thank you. Bye.